Well, this is the regular season Group C action in game day 7. PAOK and Ventspils tonight, as well as Neptunus. Klaipėda against Rosa Radom from Poland. And you've got Varese going up against EVE Baskets from Germany, and Asvel hosting Borebe Usak Sportif from Turkey. So here we are, folks, as you look at this fantastic arena with the fans still coming into this facility to watch. They will know that their team, PAOK, is struggling somewhat, down near the bottom at 2-4. Ventspils, meanwhile, are one game better off and in 4th place at 3-3. PAOK losing last week at Oldenburg in Germany, EVE Baskets, and Ventspils, they had a successful week last week, winning at home against Neptunus Klaipėda. That was a big win for this Ventspils team, knocking off the fellow Baltic side. And this Ventspils team, well, they've got an interesting team. Willie Dean is certainly a player that can bring a lot to the table. Zelionis, Edgar Zelionis, number 11, is a player that you want to keep your eyes on. Zakis, the big man, will also play big minutes. It's an outfit coached by Carlos Wisnieks that relies on team play, as it should be. It's a team sport, and he will be expecting different guys to step up at different points in this game, and they'll have to, because PAOK, in my opinion, one of the teams that has underachieved. They've got an interesting lineup under coach Sulis Morkopoulos, starting with number 4 up there, Christopoulos, the small forward who is great at times and he struggles at times. Koniatis right below him, the teenage point guard, just 19 years of age, a very exciting player. The veteran Soklas, the man who comes off the bench, another exciting player as well, and it's good to see that man. You just saw him, Janis Painis, in the screen. He is Latvian, so this game will have special significance for him. Those Ventspils players, they might want to watch what they're saying around him, because he'll be able to understand them. He wears number 31 for this PAOK team. He is a Latvian international player, in fact. Who else should we be looking out for? Well, Miljanovic, the guard, is a big-time contributor for Morkopoulos for PAOK. Jordan Seibert, the shooting guard. Keith Clanton, one of the top rebounders in this competition. Daryl Bryant is a player that will get his fair of shots. They rely on him to provide a lot of offense.
Number 5, Willie.
Well, good evening, everybody. If you're just joining us, it's game day 7 of the Basketball Champions League, and we're here in Thessaloniki, Greece, the Nick Gallis Arena, the PAOK Sports Arena. And this is a very important game when you think about the grand scheme of things. We're midway through the season, and as many wins as possible is what these teams are gunning for. Trying to get into the top 4 if possible. 5th place might be enough by the end of the regular season to get into the playoffs. But certainly a top 4 finish will get them there, and that would appear to be right now that kind of number, 3rd, 4th place, 5th place that these teams will be shooting for, although I suppose Ventspils might even be aiming higher, because from time to time they've been able to beat the big boys in this group. Talking about the playoffs, you've got, first of all, 5 groups of 8 teams in this competition, and by the end of the regular season, the 24 teams that advance to the playoffs will be the 4 top teams from each group and the 4 best 5th place teams. So, you know, if you finish 5th, you still got a chance, but, you know, you have to have a good record, you have to have a good goal differential, and all of these things matter. So even in a bad night, when you're getting beat, you want to try to minimize the margin of defeat as much as possible. You got to keep playing for 40 minutes. So the 5 group winners and the 3 best-ranked second-place teams will advance directly to the playoffs round 2. The other 16 teams will face each other in 8 pairings, home and away, with the winners advancing to playoffs round 2. So, how do we get to this point for these 2 teams? Well, it's been an interesting season, and certainly for PAOK, a team that I've been able to watch a lot. They fell in opening week in triple overtime at Rozeradom in Poland. Can you believe that? How about that for an opener? They lost 93-85. Then they rebounded with a 59-52 win over Łuczak Sportif here in Thessaloniki. They traveled to Italy and won at Open-Job Medes Varese 75-70 and appeared to be on track. But then at home against Asvel Leon Villeurbanne, they fell 67-61. So they dropped to 2-2 with that result. Then they traveled to Lithuania and lost to Neptunus, Klaipėda, and then they fell last week to Ventspils, 67-62. The referees tonight from Spain, Italy, Russia: Antonio Conde, Lorenzo Baldini, and Alexei Davidov. So Ventspils, they will start at point with Willie Dean. They'll have Edgaras Zelionis at power forward, and Skelly sliding into that starting lineup as well. Wisnieks, again, is a former player, also used to coach Latvia's national team. He was their coach when they played at Eurobasket 2007 in Spain. For PAOK, Miljanovic at point guard, Brandon Taylor starts at forward, Korniardis also in the backcourt, Jordan Seibert, shooting guard, and Keith Clanton at center. And there is Coach Markopoulos there with the gray hair, the veteran. So we talked about PAOK's results, but for Ventspils, they lost a heartbreaker to Ventspils 77-76 on game day 1 in Ventspils in Latvia, and then they rebounded with a 74-53 hammering of Rozeradom. They brought them back down to earth. Ventspils fell at Łuczak Sportif 74-69. That's Panish, Zanders Panish of PAOK, the Latvian. But then Ventspils won at home over Open-Job Medes Varese 91-66. So you can see this is a team that it's up and down and full of unpredictability. They fell 83-68 at Asvel. And then last week, lo and behold, they knocked off Neptunus Klaipėda, giving them their first defeat. They won that game 66-61. And speaking about that game, the player that really came through was Willie Dean. He had 22 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, and 3 steals. Some of the other players that had big games last week for Ventspils, 12 points for Zakis, along with 9 rebounds. So he came up a rebound shy of double-double. Zelionis had 9 points and 3 rebounds, and he is a big that can step outside and shoot the three-pointer, so you got to keep an eye on him. And those were really the main contributors. Nobody else scored more than 6 points. Fallon Campbell had 6, as did Lomash. Now, for PAOK in their last game, when they traveled to Germany, played in Oldenburg, took on Ventspils. They were led by Keith Clanton. Once again, had 8 rebounds to go with his 14 points. He also had 3 assists, and a steal, and a block. And interestingly, Chrysikopoulos did not score in that game, so he's a tremendous talent, but has a hard time, I think, with consistency. Miljanovic had 12 points, was their second leading scorer in that game. So PAOK looking to get back on track here at home against Ventspils from Latvia.
Πάμε δυνατά ΠΑΟΚάρα μας, δυνατά ΠΑΟΚάρα, δυνατά με πάθος, μόνο ΠΑΟΚ.
Hello and welcome. A very good evening to everybody outside. It might be cold where you are, but it's warm inside the arena here in Thessaloniki for PAOK-Ventspils Basketball Champions League action, and we are in game day 7. So PAOK wearing the white win the opening tip, and they are attacking the basket to the left. And Seibert is going to launch one early, and he is going to miss. So Ventspils now with a chance, and they go immediately down low, and Zelionis shows his power and gets inside and scores with the reverse layup. Mijanovic, I really liked Konyatis in that starting lineup for PAOK, but Markopoulos wants to bring him off the bench, and certainly nothing against Mijanovic because he's a pretty solid player as well. And an air ball, but coming from behind and getting the steal was Konyatis. And you know what, folks? I didn't even recognize him because he shaked his head, and they get the dunk from Seibert. So Konyatis is going with the Mr. Clean look now. And a lot of great players in Europe have played with those shaved heads, like Sasha Djordjevic. Now the miss over to Mijanovic now. So it is Mijanovic and Konyatis. Now Clanton has it, passes back to Mijanovic, who's open. Keep an eye on number 6, Konyatis, and the defense that he plays. He will usually draw the tough assignment. He is a tough customer defensively. And nice little floater in the lane from Fuller and Campbell. Clanton passes it back outside to Brandon Taylor. And Brandon Taylor goes hard to the basket and puts it up off the glass and in. And Willie Dean has a collision there with Konyatis. Konyatis is a tough-nosed player. Watch this. And to be fair, it wasn't really as much of a collision as Konyatis getting there and tripping over Dean. That was Brandon Taylor putting it up off the glass. Here it is again. Konyatis coming around and getting the steal. But boy, he's got a different look with the new do, the no do. Fuller and Campbell off the back of the iron. Zelionis rebounds it. Really impressive player, Zelionis. And here he is again! And he's got a drive and an and one. Zelionis, an aggressive move from him. He even went to his right hand. He didn't go to his left hand. And you saw the applause from his coach. So Wisniewicz showing faith in the big man and starting him in tonight, and he rewards him with some early baskets. So he's got 5 of his team's, Zelionis, 5 of his team's points, 7 points. Konyatis gets inside. Now the pass, and this time Zakis short with his little jump hook. Konyatis puts up a jumper. Mijanovic. This is to Taylor, hangs in the air, had the shot but missed it. Now Campbell whips it. Over on the wing, gets it back, and misses everything. what's interesting about Cunyares is you look at that little runner is he's got good size. And I would not be surprised if he finds his way into that Greek national team sooner rather than later. He's played for them. He's played for the youth team. He's still got time on his side, but already playing at this level, starting for this big club, and I think it bodes well for his future. Miljanovic gets inside, draws the foul. So he took off in the paint, and Skele committed the foul. Miljanovic makes the first one. But he only makes one of two. And the drive and the dump, and good recognition that time by Clanton. Talking about good guards, I mean, Nenad Miljanovic has played with Serbia's youth national teams. Seibert inside to Brandon Taylor. He's going to post up. No, he's going to turn around, and good strong rebound that time from Zakis. Now Willie Dean explodes, and they're going to, and that is going to draw the ire of the fans here in Thessaloniki. And the free throw is good. So Ventspils now up 10-7 after that three-point play. Cunyares, nice pump fake, and goes up and draws the foul. So Miljanovic played for Serbia's under-20 team. You know what that, trying to crack into that senior team is no easy feat. They've finished runners-up at the FIBA Basketball World Cup in 2014 and also at this year's Olympics. And he's got some good guards in front of him. There's Mojnieks, the coach of Ventspils. And Cunyares makes both. Now Cunyares is a player that I watched as recently, well, back in 2014 at the Under-17 World Championship for men, where they finished 12th. And he also played at the Under-20 European Championship Division B in 2016. Skele, left wide open. Anybody that's going to hit that. Soklas, meanwhile, has come in, the veteran with the beard. He's dribbling it. So he has come in for Cunyares. PAOK spreading the court. Soklas puts up a long one. Skele now. Ventspils with a three-point lead. Skele gets inside, puts it up again. Oh, he left it on the rim. Now that triggers a break, and Miljanovic drives in, goes right at Zelionis, and draws the foul, and Zelionis raises his hand. So to say that he was guilty of the foul. Ventspils now comes into the game. Now Willie Dean checks out. He's had a quiet start. So he goes out, and Lomash is checked in. And now Miljanovic misses the first board. We've seen how the free throw game is obviously in basketball, it's crucial, but it's really been important in events this week. So Partizan lose at home yesterday to Dinamo Sassari after shooting in the high 50s. Mijanovic makes just 1 of 2. Lomas. De Leonis finds an open Campbell, who just lays it up and in. The PAOK defensively seemed to be at 6s and 7s. It's all over the place. Now Seibert for 3. And it rims out. Campbell over to Skele. And Lomas was able to chase down that loose ball. Skele for 3. Good! And the lead now for Ventspils has grown to 7 points. And really, Markopoulos needs to get things together defensively in this timeout. We're going to go into the huddles and listen to both coaches. 21. Rebounds for Ventspils, just 5 for PAOK.
You played the score? 55 you played, 65. Hey, you play 9. Okay. Hey, offense. You start playing 1 down. Okay, play defense.
Okay, so shooting Ventspils 75% inside the arc. That's where they've been getting a lot of easy baskets right around the basket. 1-3 made by Skele. Okay, so Daryl Bryant into the game now. And Bryant inbounds it. And here comes Soklas. 7-point lead early. Ventspils has it up top. What you don't like to happen if you're the home team is for the opposition, the visitors, to get some confidence early while playing on the road. Now Soklas goes up and misses. And the ball goes out of bounds. And it's going to be Ventspils' ball. Nice pass inside, and the alley-oop made by Campbell, and the foul will send Ventspils to another 3-point play opportunity. Well, Cunhadas has come back into the game, and it's almost a must from a defensive standpoint to have him in there. And it just seems to be a little bit of confusion in the ranks with Ventspils getting some very easy looks down low. So PAOK's defense just not really at the races yet. 2:45 remaining in the first quarter. Soklas hands it off to Ventspils. Now Cunhadas has it. And the dunk from Bryant goes off of Ventspils out of bounds, so 7 seconds remain on the shot clock. Soklas gets it over to Bryant for 3. Clanton, excellent job in the paint, just kind of taking care of business, getting the rebound and scoring with the putback. Skele looks like he's hurt his back. around and put back by Clanton. Well, you hate to see a player walk so gingerly over there with a back issue. So hopefully he's going to be okay. Now Campbell looks like he's going to try to post up Bryant. And foul called on Bryant. Here he is getting that treatment. So Campbell goes to the line and misses the first. You have to say that Coach Mwisniak's has scouted this PAOK team well. He's come out, he's attacked. The way he's attacked him, he's gotten a lot of easy looks inside and also getting his players to recognize situations like the post-up chance against Bryant. But Campbell misses both free throws. Lomash is guarding Soklas. Now Coniares. His pass not collected by Clanton, and PAOK are fortunate to get the ball back. And Scala still getting treatment over there on that back problem. Anybody that's had a back problem knows it's not the best world. It's not the kind of world you want to be in. Now Gleniadakis has come in, the big fella, the center, and Hristokopoulos drives in and draws the foul. Ziedans picks up the personal. Soklas is going to inbound it. Gleniadakis, number 14, has played for Greece. He's also played in the NBA. He's got the ball now. And Soklas is able to drift in and hit the jump shot. And now just a 6-point lead for Ventspils. If PAOK can get a stop and go down and score again, but look at that. Wide open, just snuck in from behind. And nobody was there. Nobody defensively. Gleniadakis tried to get the pass to Hristokopoulos and turned it over. Lomash. Ziedans hands it off to Campbell. Campbell drifts in and missed. A very makeable shot. He's upset with himself because he was so close. And he is going to come out of the game. And that was all Hristokopoulos right there. He had his back to his man. And that was Campbell coming in and missing the shot. The alley-oop, oh, what a play! Zakis goes up and throws it down. And they are absolutely murdering PAOK inside, getting the highest percentage of shots that you can get. And now an offensive foul has been called on PAOK. Look at that, Willie Dean to Zakis, and he goes up and throws it down with two hands. Right in traffic. Zakis is playing moments tonight like he's possessed. It's the type of play that really gets your team fired up. Now Willie Dean gets inside and he hands it off to Zakis again. And this time Zakis tried to score with a little jump hook. It didn't look nearly as good. Bryant has the ball knocked away, but gets it back. Now Gleniadakis goes up and he's got a chance for a 3-point play with 2.2 seconds. remaining in the opening quarter. Well, Gliniadakis misses the free throw, so doesn't capitalize. And that is how the first quarter finishes. So it's Ventspils shooting lights out because they're getting such good shots. They are on top 24-16 here in Thessaloniki against PAOK. So 69% shooting for Ventspils, 9 of 13 inside the arc, and that's the story of the game. They're just getting so many easy looks. They're also out rebounding PAOK, 12-8. It all started with Zelionis with that first layup, and then he also had that drive right down the middle. Seibert had that basket, but Campbell was able to score with that little floater. Taylor was able to get one in. That was the Zelionis drive down the middle. Konyatis got it inside and scored. At that point, this Ventspils team started to open things up a little bit. Zelionis finding wide open Campbell. And Skele was left wide open, and Seibert got the hand up, but too late. Soklas did a little mid-range jump shot with Zakas again, with Willie Dean sneaking in there behind Hristokopoulos, and then that was the thunder jam, the alley-oop from Zakas. We're seeing twice. And that's where we are. Second quarter action underway, and Lomash opens things up with a three-pointer for Ventspils. 2 of 5 now from three-point range. Ventspils. PAOK have yet to hit one. Hristokopoulos gets it to Gliniadakis, and he was a foul. What was it? Gliniadakis had wanted the foul to be called, but the ball is turned back over to Ventspils. Remember Ventspils getting that big win last week against Neptunus. And certainly looked like Gliniadakis got hit there, but now I believe a technical has been called against PAOK for complaining for that not being the call. So they called Gliniadakis for traveling, is what the call was, and the PAOK bench erupted. And now they've gone to the line. And good hard play by Lomash, who's been impressive coming off the bench. Again, goes hard to the basket and draws the foul. Well, there's a saying in sports that sometimes you come out and punch the other team in the mouth, and that's kind of what Ventspils have done. They have just taken the game straight to the Greek outfit, and PAOK have yet to respond. The lead is 12, now 13. Konyatis now calling the play. Back to Soklas. Gliniadakis sets the high pick. Now he's going to roll over to Hristokopoulos for three. And a foul called on Zelionis. Bryant puts up a three, rattles out, and a foul called on Ventspils. No, it's called on PAOK. Let's see who that was. Anyway, Ventspils up 30-16. They are really putting a tanning on PAOK right now. Willie Dean gets in the lane, out to the corner. Zelionis for three. Dale Bryant with the rebound. Bryant lost it. Now back to Willie Dean. Inside. And Dale Bryant steps in and comes up with a pick. And he passes it, and his pass is intercepted. And the natives are restless. The PAOK fans. So they did call Dale Bryant traveling before, and now the game starts to get a little sloppy. Ventspils saved the ball in bounds over to Lomash, and Willie Dean has it. Puts up a three. Benedakis goes up and comes down with the rebound. Now so close. And Bryant kind of splits the defense and takes the contact as he gets inside. So he earns, I think, a trip to the line. Seibert comes back into the game for PAOK. Kuchis is going to come in for Ventspils. Ziedans comes out. Bryant, thankfully for PAOK fans, makes the first free throw. Second one is good as well. Dean gets it back to Zelionis, who drives in, puts it up and misses the layup. Well, he had the look. Just didn't finish. Ventspils now. Inside to Benedakis, misses, but great follow from Cognalis. Willie Dean passes out. Willie Dean over to Zelionis. And Zelionis misses. Now Ventspils. Ventspils bumped and fouled by Kuchis. Remember, these teams are in Group C. Ventspils right now at 3-3 are in 4th place. PAOK are 2-4. They are in 7th. The follow by Cognalis. Pass batted out, and Bryant reaches up. Cognalis dribbles up top. And the bump and the foul called on Ventspils. So you see a way back for PAOK if they just try to get some high percentage shots. And lock down and play a little bit harder on defense. Cognalis over to Ventspils. Going right at Rehar's Kuchis. And gets it in and puts it up and in. Ventspils gets it back to an 8-point deficit. Willie Dean. And his pass to Zelionis, too difficult to come up with. Now Daryl Bryant has it as he crosses midcourt. Daryl Bryant drives in and draws the foul. Skele, who had the back problem, has been able to come back into the game. So Ventspils, sensing a change in the momentum, have called timeout. Let's go to the huddle.
Offense, play one down. One down. Don't start before ball here. Okay, if the ball takes here, you run one side the other side. You. Okay.
Even on the rebounds now. And here the free throw shooting so far, not bad for Ventspils. PAOK just 6 of 9.
Behind yours. Behind the bar, play in front of your place.
Πάμε ΠΑΟΚ, πάμε ομάδα, πάμε τι και βολεύτε. Έλα παρακαλώ, πάμε.
So coming out of the timeout, Ventspils looking to reclaim the momentum, but it's PAOK that is at the line with a chance to pull to within 6 if Darryl Bryant makes both of these. I'll tell you, PAOK were so poor in the first half and at the early part of this quarter that they should consider themselves lucky they've been able to battle back. And sure enough, they're trailing by 6. Now, very important part of the game here for Ventspils. They've been on top. PAOK are on a little bit of a run. PAOK have led by as many as 14 points. Now it's cut to 6. Cooksis has it knocked out of his hands. Seibert into Hersakopoulos. And a foul called on Ventspils. So the wrap, the foul on Cooksis. Not allowed to wrap your arms around the other player. Now, Glenidakis did not look good on his last free throw, and he also misses that one. Much better on that one. And now it's a 5-point deficit. Zakis re-enters the game with that mean glare, like he's ready to rumble. Skele drives, puts up a little runner, and misses. Now Cognaris has it, and PAOK can close the gap even more. Hersakopoulos passes it back outside to Cognaris. And he gets it to Hersakopoulos, who's at the line, and he gets the shooter's bounce. He gets a little love from the rim. And he has cut the deficit to just 3 points. Look at that fortuitous bounce. He knew it was going in the whole time. Willie Dean has picked up his dribble, passes it back outside. Now he's got it. 5 on the shot clock. Puts up a jumper. And a foul called on PAOK for pushing and the rebounding. So, you've seen this PAOK team, they've fallen behind by 14. You saw the hand in the face there. called the tug on Seibert. And now they've turned the ball back over to PAOK, who can tie it with a 3. Cooks has had a bit of a nightmare since he's entered the game. In fact, that turnover was on Campbell. Oh, can you believe it? He hits a 3-pointer, and he is fouled. Jordan Seibert. My, oh my. So that was the pass that was no good, and I mean, they have tied it, and Seibert makes this. They've taken the lead. What a turnaround. They were trailing 30-14. Now they're leading 31-30. Boy, this Ventspils team is hard to figure out. Willie Dean for 3. Konyatis misses. Another chance. Now Zakis goes up with the left hand. Hrisikopoulos with the rebound. Daryl Bryant holds it up. Gliniadakis right at Zakis. Now Dean. To 24 for PAOK from the floor, 11-27 for Ventspils. Zakis puts up a 3. And the ball goes over to Bryant, who calls the play. Look at Markopoulos, he's really barking the orders. Hrisikopoulos spins at the line, and Zakis with the rebound. Now quickly Skele passes back outside to Cooksis, who, if he's not really shooting, that's his main thing. He's got to help out in other ways. He's spotting up out in the right wing, see if he gets it back. Campbell goes up for 3, misses off the back of the rim. Now we're under 3 minutes here in the first half, and Ventspils have just gone ice cold. Remember, they were shooting 69% at the end of the first quarter. Now Konyatis attempts a 3 and misses. And PAOK have cooled off a little bit. Ventspils now shooting 47.37% inside the arc, 22.22% beyond it. So they have really dropped off. And Zakis turns and scores inside. And that stops the rot and puts them back in front. Bryant takes a 3 and draws the foul. So for the second time in the second quarter, Ventspils have fouled a 3-point shooter. And that is an excellent call. You saw him rake him. Skele raked him on his right arm. Zakis, the previous trip down for Ventspils scoring. So that was Seibert hitting the 3 and drawing the foul and getting the 4-point play. And now Bryant was hit. He did not make the shot, but he will get 3 free throws. So Ventspils now 2 of 10 from 3-point range, 10 of 20 inside the arc. PAOK 9 of 19 inside the arc, and 1 of 7 from 3.
Defense, you start playing defense. Then now 1 foul to give. 1 foul to give foul. Very good shot. Very enough foul. You can use the foul. Oh my God. Ella, finish throw. Okay. Hey, here, before backdoor offense. Okay, be good.
Some of the highlights here from this first half. And really the key for PAOK has been that incredible run that has gotten them back in the game. They were trailing 30-14, and they reeled off 17 unanswered points to take the lead. And now they trail by a point, but Bryant is at the line for 3 free throws. So he ties it. He's got 2 more. The second. So PAOK back in front. And Bryant makes all 3 free throws, so PAOK have moved back in front. They're now up 34-32. And the ball goes out of bounds, the turnover. So in fact, the biggest lead was not 30-14, it was 30-16. So it was a 15-0 run for PAOK, which allowed them to get back into the game. So Miljanovic, who's come back in now, is at the line. And he misses the first. Second one is good. So Zelionis was called for that personal foul. Has come into the game, number 15. Here's Zelionis. And the foul called on Taylor. So that's only 4 team fouls on PAOK, so Zelionis will not get free throws for that. There are 1:25 remaining. Clanton back in the game as well, the big man. Oh, the quick pass inside, and Lomash doesn't take advantage of it. So a breakdown by PAOK, and they're not punished. Clanton hands it off to Bryant, who gets in, gives it back to Clanton. And now he's going to back up Zelionis, but as he goes up, he's short. Then he just reaches up and takes the ball away from Zakas. And this time, Seibert drives in and scores with the left hand. And Ventspils have just kind of fallen asleep. Boy, they have been mired in a second quarter slump, incredibly. It's kind of affected them mentally. They now trail 37-32. They were up 30-16. Willie Dean drives in, misses, but gets the rebound or gets the ball back and draws the foul with 38.4 seconds to go here in the second quarter. Look at this, a lazy pass. He was trying to get it to Lomash. Willie Dean makes the first. Every point right now extremely important for this Ventspils team as they try to have a little recovery before halftime. Dean brings it up. Zakas has been pulled out of the game, presumably for that lazy pass. Now Seibert drives in and takes the contact and scores anyway. Stretches the lead back to 5. So the final 10 seconds of the first half, and Ventspils have it. They'll try to run it down a little bit more. Willie Dean, oh, what a slick move. Where's that been all game? Willie Dean scores with the left hand and cuts it back to a 3-point deficit, but 3 seconds remain on the clock, so that'll give PAOK another chance.
Okay, nice pass.
PAOK with 9 assists, 7 for Ventspils.
That's the ball. The other 3 guys on the other side. Okay, do you remember? You here.
Look at that, 7 steals now for PAOK.
Here. No, you here. You here. Let's go. Come on. Let's go.
That was the move by Willie Dean. So Markopoulos is drawing up the play, but you have to wonder about the confidence in this Ventspils team after blowing a 14-point lead and now trailing. So they've got to get it up the floor quickly. Miljanovic, and they do not get it off in time. So they might want to scrap that play because they didn't have enough time to get the shot off. Anyway, Mwisnieks, his team trailing 39-36 to PAOK at halftime. So 39-36, PAOK now shooting 50% inside the arc. Ventspils 48%, very similar stats there. PAOK have missed some free throws. Ventspils on the boards, it's pretty even. Ventspils with those 8 turnovers, those can be costly come the end of the game. And Ventspils also have the 14 fouls. They've got a couple players, Zelionis and Skele, and also Cooksis, each all with 3 fouls. Seibert has 10 to leave PAOK. Dean, a quiet 10 for Ventspils. And see the statistics, the defensive stats, Konyatis and Zidis with 2 steals each. Also, Bryant with 7 points, Konyatis with 6. Florent Campbell has 7 points and Zelionis 5. So we're at halftime, folks. Be sure to stick around for the commencement of the third quarter. We'll be right back. The Basketball Champions League is PAOK leading at 39-36 over Ventspils.
Okay, because...
Τέλος, οι γιατροί της Κατατιότητας, επίσημος συνεργάτης της ΠΑΟK, προσφέρουν σε δύο τυχερούς φιλάθλους μας ένα βιολογικό καθαρισμό σανίδιο σπιτιού 5 θέσεων αξίας 120 ευρώ. Πλούσια δώρα σε cada ένας παιχνίδι του μεγάλου ΠΑΟΚ. Επισκεφτείτε την κουνίκη ΠΑΟΚ στην κεντρική σοδό VIP.
Πίσω. Εγώ πίσω. Εγώ δεν ανησυχώ. Έχω υδρόγειο. Αν γυρίσεις πολύ, θέλεις μια πλήρη ασφάλεια αυτοκινήτου, υδρόγειος ασφαλιστική, μία από τις μεγαλύτερες ασφαλιστικές στην Ελλάδα. Είμαστε πάνω από 40 χρόνια δίπλα σου, υπεύθυνα και με συνέπεια και με πραγματικά ανθρώπινο πρόσωπο. Υδρόγειος ασφαλιστική, η ασφαλής δύναμη. Γιατί όσο η γυρίζει, η υδρόγειος ασφαλίζει.
Ο παπάς μου που να είναι
39-36 is the PAOK lead over Ventspils here at halftime in Thessaloniki in this Group C battle. Very important one, certainly for PAOK, who at 2 and 4 are just one spot off the bottom of the standings. Ventspils coming off an impressive win last week over Neptunus, the group leaders. Started out and looked as if they were going to run away with this one. They got up by 14 points. They were up 30-16. And PAOK recovered, reeling off 15 unanswered points to take the lead. And in that impressive comeback for PAOK, they got a 4-point play from Jordan Seibert. They also got Daryl Bryant being fouled while he was attempting a 3, and he went to the line and made all 3 free throws. So you have to wonder with Carlos Muiznieks what is happening with his team just kind of falling asleep in that long spell. And the same for PAOK at the beginning. They just were not at the races. So it's been a really interesting game. We haven't seen Janis Panish, so it could be that the injury problems that he's had this year is going to keep him out of this game. Maybe he will not play against his compatriots. And you can see Markopoulos there. I'm sure he's had some stern words for his team at halftime, some praise, but also some words to say, listen guys, we can't fall behind every time and expect to come back. So we've had some very interesting results, as always is the case in the Basketball Champions League. So far tonight, we've got Le Mans winning. They're early in the third quarter. Le Mans winning at Avtodor Saratov 54-44. And leading the way for Le Mans is Olivier Hanlon, the Canada international, with 12 points. Kataya Basket are pulling off quite an impressive score line here at halftime. They're up 48-34 at Pinar Karšiaka. I mean, that is just incredible. And leading the way for Kataya Basket with 12 points, 3 of 4 from three-point range is who else but Raniko, the Finnish veteran. The Kataya team has hit 6 3-pointers tonight. There's Janis Panish warming up. Maybe we will see him in the second half. Neptunus are winning 41-37 over Rosa Radom. Rosa Radom can give teams a hard time. Team from Romania and, from Poland, and from Romania, Oradea are losing at home to Umano Ryer Venezia, 29-23. In this game, Seibert leading the scoring for PAOK with 10 points, and 10 points also for Willie Dean of Ventspils. Something tells me we've got a few twists still left in the tail here. There's going to be a lot happening here over the final 20 minutes as Zelionis and Zakis discuss strategy here with coach Carlos Muiznieks for Ventspils. But we are in Thessaloniki, Greece, folks. And as you look at Keith Clanton coming out, he's only got 2 points and 2 rebounds. So he has been a non-factor. He does have a couple of steals. And maybe we'll see him increase his level here, or his contributions here in the second half. So we're underway. Daryl Bryant, Chrysikopoulos, Koniatis catches it down low. Konyaris kind of flung up a reverse layup there. Might have been better off in the reach and the steal from Miljenovic, and Konyaris goes up and still can't get it to go down. So awkward start here for Konyaris. And Konyaris gets his hands up, forces the turnover. Now Daryl Bryant has it, looks up the floor, and gets it to Hristokopoulos. And just like we saw Ventspils attack early on down low, we've seen PAOK come out and get a high percentage shot for their first points of the second half. Willie Dean, oh, he gets it to Zelionis, and both teams trying to play out in the passing lanes, trying to extend the D, but they're leaving gaps down low. Hristokopoulos puts his head down, gets inside, and a foul has been called on Ventspils. Here's Daryl Bryant making the pass for the easy one to Hristokopoulos. And that was the other end, Willie Dean to Zelionis. Miljenovic to Clanton. He's going to go hard to the basket, and he is going to draw the foul from Zakas. Clanton was well short with that attempt. So Clanton makes one of two. Willie Dean gets it out on the perimeter. Now he dumps it to Zakas, and Zakas has the shot blocked by Clanton. Hristokopoulos on the break. Dishes to Konyaris, and PAOK off and running. They've now opened up a 6-point lead. A 6-point lead is their biggest lead of the game. Campbell misses with the little turnaround, or the jump hook inside. Hristokopoulos gets it to Clanton. Back out to Hristokopoulos. 8 on the shot clock. Hristokopoulos goes to work. Puts it up, misses. Konyaris with the follow. Clanton goes up. And a foul called against PAOK. So that foul's on Clanton. That was the block from Clanton at the other end. Now inside, Zelionis misses, but the follow there by Jedins. And the move from Clanton, he hands it off. And the ball goes out of bounds. It'll continue to be PAOK ball. Hristokopoulos has Zelionis on his back, turns, puts it up, and had the shot, just missed it. New 14, passes outside to Konyaris. Clanton gets the rebound. Daryl Bryant now for 3. Off the rim, and Hristokopoulos battles, but Zelionis gets the rebound. Skele playing with the back injury, drives in, and Miljanovic knocks it away. He was trying to pass to Zjedins. Skele for three from the right corner, misses pretty much everything. Willie Dean now for three, and that's off the back of the iron. Clanton with the rebound, gets it to Bryant, who passes up to Konyatis. Christopoulos goes up and misses again in a very good spot on the floor, just can't knock it down. Skele avoided the turnover, brings it back out. Zjedins, and Clanton with the rebound. Both teams having a hard time putting the ball in the basket. Now it's Clanton. Christopoulos passes up the jumper. Gets inside. Passes to Miljanovic, and Miljanovic has to fling one up. Skele. Lauren Campbell drives in, misses, but the follow from Zelionis. And now back to a 2-point deficit for Ventspils as PAOK struggle to put the ball in the basket. Clanton turns and travels, and now Ventspils will get it back. And I think he's shuffled, and that's what the referee saw, so he made the call. Willie Dean gets to Campbell, gets in the lane, back outside Dean. He's wide open. And again off the back of the rim, but the rebound goes back over to Ventspils, and Skele scores with the runner. So we have got a tie game, 44-44. Starting to heat up nicely. Bryant, Willie Dean holding his ground. Miljanovic behind the back pass. Oh, if he converts this, no, he gets it back, and he does score right at the end of the shot clock. Great play by Miljanovic. Lauren Campbell drives in, misses, but the follow from Zjedins ties it right back at 46. Clanton passes outside, now Brandon Taylor. And he missed badly, now back over to Ventspils, and it's Campbell. Goes to work again, over to a wide open Zjedins. And right now we are not seeing a shooting clinic, to put it mildly. Both teams are just having an almighty hard time scoring. Miljanovic turns, puts it up, and missed from very close. Now Willie Dean, and the foul called. It's Konyatis. That was Skele with a little runner. He's been effective with that shot. And this was the follow from Zjedins. So we're knotted at 46. It seemed as if, well, here goes Jordan Seibert, who's come back into the game. He explodes and misses the layup. nobody trailed except the team in blue and yellow, Ventspils. Shooting percentages sub 50 for both teams. Scaly drives in, gets blocked by Brandon Taylor. So 1.7 seconds, it appears, on the shot clock, and a timeout here called by Ventspils as they try to get something good. And it's difficult to see which way this one's going to go, folks. I mean, both teams are struggling offensively. Let's hear what the coaches have to say. See the shooting percentages for both teams.
One second.
Στο συναρπαστικό και τεχνικό ταξίδι, στον κόσμο των γεύσεων, των αρωμάτων της τύχης του είναι η επιλογή κάθε επαγγέλματος. Στο αποσταμάτων σας και η εμπειρία από την εξαγωγική δραστηριότητα σε περισσότερες από 34 χώρες.
Free throw shooting hasn't been that bad, but field goal percentage for both teams, you can see down in the 30s. Nice hat that fan's wearing. You fashionistas out there watching this game. So 46 all. And Ventspils trying to get that last shot here. And they get it in, and the block. But a foul called on Soklas. So free throws are coming for Ventspils. No, it wasn't on Soklas. It was either on Clanton or Bryant. So 2 minutes remaining here in the third. And Zelionis misses the first one. Second one good from Zelionis, and Ventspils have moved back in front. Yes, indeed, the foul was called on Soklas. I didn't see where Soklas was involved in the play, but anyway, he got the foul. And now Bryant takes the three-pointer and hits it and puts PAOK back in front. Almost pushed off there. Three-point shooting abysmal for both teams. As you can see, Jadens gets it down the low block from Atta. And Jadens misses. Brandon Taylor able to get the ball. Now to Soklas. Over to Taylor for three. Leonidas in the game, chases the rebound, but Ventspils come down with it, and a foul called as Willie got closer to the lane. So the PAOK crowd not too excited right now by the calls, but Atta has it. Atta drives in, or draws the foul on Leonidas. So 49-47, and just about as tight as it can be right here. If Hawks makes both free throws, or makes the free throw, makes one of two, so it's back to a 1-point game. Sokola's being harassed. And Lomas picks up the foul. The fans kind of helping with that call. Final 45 seconds of the third quarter. Bryant whips it over to Sokolas in the corner. And Zidane's with the rebound. Over to Dean. Oh, they pass quickly up ahead. What a play, and Zelionis puts Ventspils back in front. Bryant tries to get some space, but Willie Dean really D'ing up on him and forces a very bad shot from Bryant. Great defense from Willie Dean. Willie Dean getting pumped up as Ventspils go back in front with 11.5 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. And Glenadakis checks out in the final 6 seconds. Dean again inside, and Zelionis almost had a basket. Taylor's shot no good, but it was great hustle. I think it was Jordan Seibert that blocked Zelionis as he went up for an apparent layup. 50-49, Ventspils on top, 10 minutes remaining. So the field goal percentage overall not very good for either team. And Ventspils all of a sudden starting to control the boards a little bit, getting the better of PAOK in the quarter. So here's the Coppola start fast here in the quarter. Here he was also out on the break, giving the ball to Coniates. There's a tap in from Zelionis. Zelionis with 10 points right now. Willie Dean with 10. He didn't score in that quarter. Also 7 points for Lauren Campbell, 7 for Skele. 10 points for Daryl Bryant, 10 for Seibert. Seibert was the leading scorer at halftime, but he didn't score in the third quarter. And Coniates now with 8 points for PAOK. Well, folks, it's all happening right now. All around the Basketball Champions League, some close games. Le Mans are really laying it on Avtodor Saratov in Russia. They're up by 18 in the fourth quarter. Rosa Radom still on top of Neptunus, but just by 2 points midway through the fourth quarter. Here we've got a good game as well, just a 1-point game. And Ventspils draw the foul. And is it in the shooting motion? In fact, no, it is not. Omanaraya Venezia winning at Oradea in Romania, 34-30. And in it goes, and Atta passes it back outside. Lomas gets it to Willie Dean. Atta. And offensive foul called against Ventspils. Daryl Bryant up top. PAOK in need of points. Who's going to provide them? Gleniadakis gets inside. And a foul called. 2 shots have been awarded. Gleniadakis rattles in the first free throw to tie it. And the second one is good as well, so PAOK have gone back in front. Now Willie Dean, shifty move, but then he gets swatted by Hristokopoulos, who takes the ball himself. Is he going to go coast to coast? No, he's going to pull it back. He's going to give it to Gleniadakis. And then Gleniadakis gives it back to Hristokopoulos, but he misses down low. Hristokopoulos does so many things well, but he is really struggling to finish off shots. In a great position there. Hristokopoulos catches it up high. Soklas now down to Gleniadakis. Tries to bull his way down. He hits it back out after the miss. Now Jordan Seibert takes the 3. That was big time. That's why the rebounds on the offensive boards are so important for teams like PAOK. He gives them those second and third chances, and they capitalize that time with the Seibert 3. Jordan Seibert quietly, arguably the man of the game for this PAOK team. And a foul called against PAOK. Look at this. Oh, Seibert's open. We'll get it to him. He'll knock it down. And sure enough, nothing but nylon. Swish. Willie Dean has the ball knocked out of his hands by Bryant, who goes down and scores with a layup. Big time play from Bryant, sloppy for Dean, and PAOK now have gone in front by 6. So timeout called by Mujnieks over there on the Ventspils bench. Both teams struggling from three-point range. That third 3 there for PAOK coming from Seibert just moments ago. And rebounding, PAOK doing a little bit better job now, trimming that advantage of Ventspils down to 36 to 32. Steals for PAOK, just 4 for Ventspils. We just saw 1 there. And Falarian Campbell comes back into the game. So he is back in for Ventspils. And good, strong, powerful move, but he doesn't finish. Zelionis. Hristokopoulos this time decides to go all the way, hands it off to Gleniadakis. And Gleniadakis was fouled. So, potential 4-point swing in the making here with Zelionis almost scoring again on another drive to the hoop, but he was denied at the rim. Gleniadakis fails to knock that one down. And the second one is also no good, so a reprieve for Ventspils. Campbell to Zelionis, and Zelionis travels, trying to do a little too much. He was going to go to the basket, and then he changed his mind, tried to pass it out, but he traveled. Now the turnover by Bryant. And he's slow to get back down the court. Here he is now, gets back into position. So Ventspils couldn't take advantage of the numerical superiority. Lomas drives in, puts up the shot, and Gleniadakis gets the rebound. Now the dump, and Gleniadakis goes up. He didn't come close. Pass into the corner to Ziedans. Skele with 5 on the shot clock. Skele over to Ziedans, and short, and Soklas chases down the ball. He tells Jordan Seibert to get it going. And Gleniadakis kind of gets his hand on the ball, allows it to go to Soklas, the bearded wonder. Now the alley-oop pass, and the dunk! And that right there, my friends, was a little bit of French pastry in this Greek team. Seibert skied, and beautiful pass from Soklas. And now the wind in the sails of PAOK. Can they stamp their authority on the game? Gleniadakis knocks down the jumper just inside the free throw line, and Wisniewicz calls timeout. His team now facing its largest deficit of the game, 10 points.
Same defense, same rebound. Keep it up.
Давай, действуй, помню, Христов.
What a play. That might be the play of the game right there. Soklas says, oh, Seibert's in there. Just get him the rock. And he does. He catches it, and he dunks it not just with one hand, but with two. I love it with the two-handed jams. Look at that. Bam! And Ventspils just caught standing around. Seibert has just made a lot of plays. You got to point your finger over at Soklas and say thank you. But Seibert, remember, he had the 4-point play in the first half. That was huge in their comeback. See the rebounding there for both teams. Pretty even now. Seibert right now has got 15 points and a couple of rebounds, as well as a block shot and an assist. And that's 15 points in about 21 minutes. So Rizikopoulos reaches in and commits the foul. So now it's going to be Willie Dean that's going to inbound it. And Zaka's kind of the forgotten man back in the game finally. And the foul out on the perimeter by Soklas. Oh, Lomas with a beautiful drive and layup for Ventspils. They needed something positive to happen, as this game was threatening to get away from him. So that was a confident move. Bryant goes behind the back now into Gleniadakis. Soklas. An offensive foul called on Gleniadakis. And the referee happened right in front of him. So Gleniadakis picks up his second foul and he takes a seat. And the three-point shot is good. So Richards Kukskus has been very quiet tonight, hasn't played that much. And that's what he has to do. I mean, that's why you have him in the team, to shoot the rock. And shoot the rock he does. And gets it back to 5. Now Lomas picks up the foul. Soklas. Now Clanton. And to Hristokopoulos, and he earns the trip to the line. Kukskus taking that three and making it. Played college basketball at Arizona State. Played for Herb Sendek. Now here's Hristokopoulos. And makes the second as well. So now it's a 7-point lead. Scaly has it. Scaly for 3. Good! Oh, the three-point shot starts to fall for Ventspils, and you know those Latvians love the three-pointers. Timeout called by PAOK. Let's go to the huddle and hear what the coaches have to say.
Now.
The starters in the bench. That's interesting, isn't it? PAOK with 29 points from the bench.
Okay, if you have anything, pops out, side pick it up, down, pick to the other side. Okay.
4 threes now for Ventspils. They just hit 2 in the last minute. Hristokopoulos and Soklas discussing strategy. So it's the veteran point guard that's on the floor right now. And Cyber takes a 3 off the back of the rim, and Hristokopoulos does a good job of knocking the ball back out to Bryant for a new 14 on the shot clock. Bryant takes the shot, and it was long now. Scaly, who just hit the last 3, has the ball for Ventspils. Lomas comes up top. Now Kukskus hits it to Scaly. Is he going to feed it back to Kukskus? Yes, he does. And he gets it back to Scaly. Scaly puts up a 3. Go! Another 3 for Scaly! All of a sudden, it's raining threes. Ventspils trail by just 1. Now Hristokopoulos. What a good job on the boards by Clanton. Another 14. Soklas has it. Whips it over to Bryant. Wide open off the rim. And Lomash gets the rebound. Lomash for three. Boy, it looked like it was in, didn't it? But it stayed out. So close. Oh, they find Clanton open, and he lays it up and in. And Ventspils fell asleep. They didn't get back and play D. Scaley over to Cookstis. Over to Dean now. Scaley with 4 on the shot clock. Goes behind his back, frees himself, puts it up and off target, and now the push has been called on Soklas. Soklas, but so far. Watch, you can see the scrap for the rebound, and it's kind of a, well, you decide. Big call though, because it puts Lomash on the line. Milinovic, meanwhile, has come back into the game now for Soklas. Soklas has fouled out of the game, I think. He had 4. And Lomash makes the free throw and gets it back to a 1-point game. Buckle them up, folks. Another thrilling finish in the Basketball Champions League right in front of our eyes. PAOK clinging to a 1-point lead. Bryant couldn't see Rizikopoulos, who was open. So now Bryant's got it back, gets it to Rizikopoulos this time. And he has struggled all game long to finish, but that time he puts it up off the glass and in. Willie Dean, he's been quiet. Lomash. Oh, Zakas, beautiful bounce pass. Zakas, the reach and the foul. Can you believe it? What a pass by the big man. The bounce pass variety, look at this. And I don't think that Milinovic can quite believe it. So Willie Dean can tie it if he makes this one. And he does. And with that, the teams go to the bench for a timeout. And it's been a great comeback here from Ventspils, who fell behind by 10 points. And now they've knotted it.
Pass out.
Well, Ventspils just edging it in the rebounds, 40-39. And here was one of the threes made by Scaley in the comeback. Scaley, that was another 3 there. Knew he was back there. So PAOK possession. .143 remains. And Seibert passes to Milinovic, and the ball goes out of bounds. I'll tell you what, folks, that's sort of difficult to to describe. He just kind of led him a little bit. And Mijanovic comes out of the game. I think the message there is that the coach is saying, you needed to make that catch. Because he just inserted Coniatis to play defense. I think it was the former. The effort wasn't there, strangely. And traveling is the call. Boy, that was a gift to get the easy turnover, and then they just give it right back. Coniatis, and this time they do successfully inbound the ball. Seibert gets it over to Clanton. Seibert's been the danger man. He puts up a three. Clanton with a rebound. And Clanton was fouled, so he will get a couple of free throws. Rebounds on the offensive glass, so important, but Clanton misses the first. And the second one he makes. So PAOK have nosed ahead. They're up by one. It's crunch time, folks. It's 104. Call your friends, call your family members, call anybody, tell them they got to tune in, watch PAOK try to win this game against Ventspils. Ventspils were down 10, they've come back, now they're down 1 in the final minutes. Lomas drives in, has a chance, Seibert has it, gets it to Coniatis, but Willie Dean reaches in, steals it, and earns a trip to the free throw line. Boy, what a sneaky play by Willie Dean. Seibert just couldn't, he just struggled to keep his feet in bounds, and they tried to pass the ball to Coniatis, and Willie Dean was there, and he just took it right away. 47.4 seconds remaining. And if he makes these, you have to wonder if this is going to be Ventspils' day. On the line, you can see Willie Dean's getting upset even with his own teammates. He just wants them to go back so he can take the free throw. Boy, this is chaos. And Dean misses the first one, but he is going to get another one as PAOK are judged to have gotten into the lane too early. Dean hits the rim, bounces it in, and makes the free throw. Ventspils needs to work on his composure. He really has a lot to say to the referees. Every game that I've called. Mijanovic back into the game. His team trailing by a point. Mijanovic puts up a little floater. It's good. So he makes amends for that turnover. Repays the faith by Coach Markopoulos. And with 36.4 seconds remaining, Markopoulos saying he didn't want a timeout. Well, there was no doubt about that one. It went in, so no timeout. And play will continue. So Willie Dean has it. Ventspils trailing. Gets it to Cooksas. Willie Dean, Cooksas has it, pump fake, puts up a little runner, and he banks it in. 22.4 seconds remain. Boy, Cooks's has been big in the fourth quarter. He's made some big plays. That's why he earns a paycheck, his ability to put the ball in the basket. And that's what he's done.
Everybody open. 5 guys open. 4 guys open. Okay. You come for the pick.
See the free throw shooting.
For the pick. Fake.
That might be a factor.
4 guys open. That's it.
Coach, I have the ball. I have the ball.
Yes.
Just pass it together.
You.
Yes.
You here.
Huh?
Here.
Exactly, 3. Okay? Raj. Don't care if he's playing low post game. Play 1-on-1 and you play defense 4. You play defense 4. You are a helper. You will make 3 points. Okay, don't care.
We can basket, eh? We can basket.
We're going to score. We're going to score. You want to score immediately?
No.
Don't let me
Hey.
find a
Good choice. Good choice.
Don't matter if there are...
Appears to be a little uncertainty over there on the bench with Miljenovich getting the instructions, so he asks for some clarification from the assistant coach. So it's PAOK ball, and will they go immediately and try to score? Will they take some time off the clock and then try to play defense? They don't want to run too much time off the clock. So Rizikopoulos is up. Now Clanton sets the pick. They pass to Rizikopoulos, who drives in, puts it up and in. Execution to perfection. And with that, a timeout has been called. No, it hasn't. I thought Wisnieks had called a timeout, but he's just made a substitution. Look at this. And Zelionis just did not stop Rizikopoulos, so Willie Dean, buckle him up, folks. The final seconds, Willie Dean's got it. Spins, gets in the lane, puts up a crazy shot, and draws the foul with 5.1 seconds remaining. Boy, he is tough to stop in these situations, and there was no doubt about it. Clanton completely hacked him as he went in. And Dean still had the ability to shoot the ball, to release it. Now, Rizikopoulos is having words down low with Zelionis. This is clutch time. Look at that, 15 of 19 Ventspils at the line tonight. And as far as Willie Dean, he is 7 for 7. He has not missed a free throw tonight. And boy, are they not hard to make at this time of the game. Yes, they are. That is always the case. Now he has to make one to try to tie it. And he does rattle in the second one, so it's 71 all with 5.1 seconds remaining. Rizikopoulos and inbounds it. And Wisnieks, I don't know if he was trying to make a substitution, so that's why they've stopped play. Markopoulos was going crazy thinking that they shouldn't have stopped it. Now they're going to have to inbound it more. Lauren Campbell in the game. And we'll see if this messes them up. It's allowed them to set their defense. And now Markopoulos wants to make a substitution quick. No, he's not going to. So to get it to Miljenovich, he's going to have to push it up quickly. The final seconds ticking off the clock. Miljenovich over to Bryant, and they don't even get a shot off. So the game will go to overtime. 71 apiece at the end of regulation. There was another look at it, and really Miljenovich needed to get the ball to Bryant sooner than he did. (71-71), an extra 5 is on the way. Well, catch your breath, folks. 46% for PAOK inside the arc. The free throws, wouldn't you know it, that Willie Dean had made all 7 of his free throws before he went to the line there right at the end. He could have put his team in front, but he only made 1 of 2. Now you've got 5 minutes of extra time. 14 turnovers for Ventspils, 4 blocks for PAOK. And that is the quarter-by-quarter scoring. And PAOK will have to, I think, consider themselves fortunate that they won overtime, because Dean is a good free throw shooter, and to get 1 miss from him there at the end, that was a gift. Vitally important game. Remember, these teams in Group C, PAOK 2-4, Ventspils 3-3. So a win would really help either of these teams here as they try to tighten up this position. Seibert drives in and draws the foul. Cooks comes out. Zialonis comes back in. Seibert at the free throw line. And now Seibert misses the first one. He makes the second. So it's PAOK by 1. Now Willie Dean time. Skele, bounce pass. Nice pass to Zakas, but Zakas was short, and Clanton rebounded the miss. Christopoulos passes up the long one, goes inside, shoots an air ball. Lomash quickly to Dean, over to Skele, and Dean has it. And Dean with a little step back, and Ventspils go in front by 1. Dean seems to be thriving in this late game situation. He enjoys the pressure. You can see it. He feels comfortable. Christopoulos goes right at Zialonis, and this time he makes it. Much better that time from Christopoulos. Zakas quickly over to Dean, pump fake, drifts in. Oh, he made the great move, but he just didn't finish. Now Bryant has it for PAOK. Look at Wisniewicz, the coach, calling the plays. In the right corner of the screen, and Miljanovic misses, but Clanton with the offensive rebound goes right back up, and he puts it in. PAOK, don't forget, lost in triple overtime at Rosa Radom in their first game. And now the push and the foul called, I think, on Skele for pushing off. Zakas trying to set the pick. Here was Willie Dean. This little says, "Oh, you're going to give this to me? I'll take it." And he knocks down the jumper, the go-ahead jumper. But since that time, it's been all PAOK. Here was Dean again, where he had the chance, and it looked like maybe Christopoulos might have gotten a hand on that ball. 2 minutes and 38 seconds to go. Ziadins with the foul. So the timeout has been called. Still a ways to go, folks. Hey, this is exciting stuff. Now PAOK are leading in the rebounding 43 to 41.
Okay. The other team play with a 5. 5 takes the ball.
Ventspils turnovers, 11 for PAOK. So 2:38 remain. Plenty of time for Ventspils. Although right now, it's Clanton and PAOK in the ascendancy, it appears. And sure enough, he brings a little bit of rain with that first free throw. Brings rain with a second one as well, but misses. So it's a 4-point game. It's close. They're all close, it seems like, in the Basketball Champions League. And the reach in, the turnover. And Miljanovic did a good job of forcing the turnover, but couldn't control it. But then Bryant gets it back and draws the foul as he goes for the shot. What a game. This is where Miljanovic, he just couldn't quite get it, and also Lomash kind of put him off of catching it, but then Bryant ended up with the ball, and now he can take the lead to 6 if he makes both of these. Well, this would be huge for PAOK. He could really spark their season into life. Remember, the team lost last week and the week before as well, and the week before that, they've lost 3 in a row in the Basketball Champions League. And Bryant has stretched that lead to 6. And now Scaley turns it over. Double dribble, he lost it and kept dribbling. He's going to argue, but it's going to fall on deaf ears. Clanton gets it inside, puts it up and in, and it's an 8-point lead. Willie Dean now. Panic stations. They get it over to Scaley. The right, he puts up an air ball. And Ventspils are fading fast here in the overtime with 1:41 remaining. Miljanovic hands it off. Seibert. And Willie Dean commits the foul, not on Seibert, but on Miljanovic. And that was kind of ran into the screen and bumped him. So Miljanovic, you have to think PAOK in this situation can go ahead and win the game, especially with Miljanovic at the line. Although he does struggle with his free throws, he makes that one. It's a 9-point lead. Both of these teams will be 3 and 4 if PAOK can hold on to this lead and get this overtime win. When it makes 1 of 2. That keeps it a 3-possession game if Ventspils were to hit 3 threes. Campbell, now Dean. passes, and Miljanovic takes it away. And the reach and the foul was called on Lauren Campbell. So Ventspils, who again last week won at home over first place Neptunus Klaipėda, had a chance to win on the road in PAOK. Willie Dean at the line, but only made just 1 of 2 to tie it when he could have made both and put his team up with the remaining. And now PAOK are up by 9. Miljanovic continues to struggle at the free throw line. It's a part of his game that he really needs to iron out. He came in shooting 50% at the free throw line. That's pretty much what he shot tonight. So 10-point lead now. The clock is the enemy. Bounce pass to Zelionis, and he goes up and has a chance for a 3-point play. Don't go away, folks. I'm not sure what Rissikopoulos was doing there. You just, if you're out of position like that, you go ahead and give it to him. You don't want to complicate it by giving him a 3-point play. Seibert over to Miljanovic. Well, that's the man that got a foul. He's struggling with his free throws. And you wonder at some point if Skele commits the foul, if Markopoulos might consider taking Miljanovic out of the game, if he might be a liability at the free throw line. Because right now he's 5 of 10. So he makes the first one. But misses the second. So now 6 of 11. Ate for 3. Clanton goes up for the rebound. Bryant's got it, and Rissikopoulos hands it to Bryant. Bryant explodes past the D, over to Seibert, back to Bryant. And Ventspils playing defense. And Bryant gets it over to Seibert right at late in the shot clock. The ball rims out. Now Zelionis. And outside Lomash and Zelionis with the follow. And with 21.2 seconds remaining, it's back to a 6-point game. Well, stranger things have happened in the sport of basketball than teams coming back from 6-point deficits with 22 seconds remaining. And again, you wonder with Miljanovic 6 of 12 at the free throw line, if having him out on the court right now is what Markopoulos needs to do. Bryant is the man you got to get the ball to. He's a perfect 9 of 9 at the line. In fact, Rissikopoulos, Konyaris, each 2 of 2.
You, second, you pops out, take the ball. Okay?
They trap or they foul, they protect the ball.
After this, pops out 4 corners, eh? 4 corners.
That was a 3-point play as Rissikopoulos went up for the block. Zelionis just threw it down. On the inbounds thrower there, and it's Bryant, and that is exactly what we anticipated. Lehmanis comes in and commits the foul. So Bryant, who's 9 of 9 at the free throw line, has a chance to take the lead back up to 8 with 19.8 seconds remaining. I'll tell you what, there's nothing like having a great free throw shooter on your team that you can depend on to get him the rock. He was shooting 90.3% from the line coming into this game, but he only makes 1 of 2. So he's 10 of 11 tonight. For Lauren Campbell into Zelionis. Turns, goes, and can you believe it? Once again, Christopoulos commits the foul. And Zelionis makes the shot. And Christopoulos can't quite believe it. He was playing D. He gets the hand up. May have been a tough call on Christopoulos. But nevertheless, with 9.1 seconds, things are happening in this game, folks, that suggest the basketball gods are once again having a little bit of fun at our expense. Zelionis with 19 points is at the line. He can get it to 4 if he makes this. And he does. Clanton now. And they get to Miljenovich, and that's the man they want to foul, but they don't foul him. But they get the steal. And now Atta gets it, and incredibly, Ventspils couldn't get a shot, and PAOK have somehow managed to hold on for an 85-81 victory in really quite a bizarre finish to the game, to put it mildly. So 85-81, PAOK win it in overtime over Ventspils. And those free throws for PAOK, they dropped all the way down to 65%. But they made just enough to get their 3rd win in this competition and to leave both teams at 3 and 4 here in Group C. 18 turnovers for Ventspils. Remember, Ventspils could have won it probably at the end had Willie Dean made 2 free throws when he went to the line, a perfect 7 of 7. But he was unable to make both. He just made 1 of 2. Seibert with 16 points leading the way for PAOK. Zelionis ended up as the game high score with 20 for Ventspils. Willie Dean with 18 points, Skelly with 13, Bryant with the 15, and Christopoulos with the 14 for PAOK. So as you look at some of the highlights here of the second half, and we try to digest what's happened. Remember, earlier in the game, Ventspils jumped out in front. They were up 30-16, and instead of pulling away, PAOK came back. They reeled off 15 straight points. They had some crazy plays happen. Jordan Seibert had a 4-point play. He was fouled while making a 3. Daryl Bryant got fouled while taking a 3, made all 3 free throws. And it was pretty much nip and tuck the rest of the way. Neither team able to really pull away. Ventspils looked as if they might just sneak it there at the end of regulation. Willie Dean getting to the line with just over 5 seconds remaining. And having made all 7 of his free throws, Dean missed 1 of his 2 free throws and only tied the game. That forced it to overtime. And once the game went to overtime, PAOK surged ahead. But Zelionis all of a sudden started making shots, had a couple of 3-point plays, and got it to within 4 points with 9.1 seconds remaining. And Ventspils came up with a steal and could have scored a quick basket, and then it would have really been interesting, but they couldn't get a shot off. And the buzzer sounded, much to the relief of the PAOK fans and the PAOK bench. So PAOK getting win number 3 here, 85-81 after overtime against Ventspils, and it just tightens up Group C in a big way. Both teams at 3 and 4. So Rosa Radom also losing tonight. They are 3 and 4. Neptunus won against Rosa Radom, so they have improved to 6 and 1. They will continue in first place. So once again, folks, another game day, another game in the Basketball Champions League, and another close one. This time it was PAOK that has walked off the court all smiles. They have won a nail-biter here against Ventspils by 4 points in overtime. Once again, the leading scorer for PAOK was Jordan Seibert with 16 points. He was 2 of 6 from three-point range, one of those a 4-point play. Zelionis had 20 points and Willie Dean 18. You've been watching the Basketball Champions League. PAOK win it 85-81 over Ventspils. Thanks for watching.